Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Peace Luv Biz. It is me, Mary, resident unicorn accountant. Steve, who is normally with us, is out this week. He's under the weather. And you know how that goes when you have a family, it just keeps circling. He will get better soon and be back with us. This week, we are talking about your financial playbook. What does that look like for 2026? Let's get on top of it this year. Let's make every single thing count, but let's be present for everything that's going on with our business. So, we're going to break down your key needs, how to sustain a monthly rhythm, why quarterly reviews are important, staying aligned with your goals. Do you have goals set? We need to set some goals. So, we're going to stop drifting. We're just going to stop going with whatever pulls us, whatever direction, and get aligned with what we're doing. We're going to start leading. We're going to have a plan. Plans are good. We want a plan that supports the growth and confidence, gives us the freedom, everything that we're looking to do within our business. So if you're with me, let's just dive in. So you need to show that you're thinking strategically, right? Not technically. So, but you want to be able to look overview. Hey, what's going well? Let's just out the gate look at what's going on with your books. Do you have a system in place? That's to start with. Do you have software? Are you using software? If you're not, start looking into software. A lot of people like QBO. We use QBO. I'm familiar with a lot of different accounting softwares. People find they have all their different takes in it, but research it, look into it, get a software, get a system. Don't rely on whatever is flowing in and out of your bank account. That's not an accounting system. An accounting system needs to give you real time, real numbers, what's happening. So let's start there. Then great. Okay, we have a software. How many bank accounts and credit cards are supporting your business? Did you just start up? Have you started up a couple years and don't have an accountant? So you've been kind of doing it on your own without any guidance. So really good place to start with bank accounts is you want an operational account, maybe you want a savings account, maybe need a credit card support. Now, do a lot of people support their businesses cover transactions through your personal? Yes, they do. Yes, there's a way to account for all that. And there's a way to pull it in. But in reality, if you're not gross revenue, having gross revenues of a million, 2 million, $3 million, there is no reason to have more than five. That includes credit cards, five accounts supporting your QuickBooks. I have had people up to T1 accounts. There's no reason. There's no reason. Stop. Get out of it. We need to figure that out. And if you have many, many credit cards, we got to figure out the spending. Like that's a whole nother ball game. Because if you have an Amex or you have a Capital One or whatever, not being paid by these people, that gives you points, so that's why you use them. Hey, all the power to you. I'm all for it. Max out how you can save and what gives you the most advantage. But 21 cards, people, there's no need. And what that does is it gives you chaos. It gives you chaos. It's like if you're a family of 4 or 5 and you ask everybody what they want for dinner and you make 4 and 5 different meals, dude, that's kind of ridiculous. That's going overboard. We're getting into chaos land. We want to eliminate the chaos. And that is what's present in this episode is bringing in the calm, releasing the chaos. Okay. If you like chaos, if you like being pulled in multiple directions and you like people, your phone blowing up and the drama and all that, this is not for you. I'm just going to let you know that now. It's not for you. You want to have peace. You want to have calmness. You want to have structure. All that eliminates chaos and gives you freedom. So that's what we're talking about here. So, okay, we have the software. We have our bank accounts. Next is find someone that you can trust to do your books. You may have self-taught yourself. You may I can figure this out. At least have someone review them quarterly to go, yeah, no, this isn't it. Or you need to change this up. Or no. I know you think it's this way because you're thinking this, but in reality, it's not. This is not an expense, it's a fixed asset, or this isn't an expense, it's actually a distribution, or this isn't a distribution, this is actually a fringe benefit. You need someone to do those oversights. Okay, big picture, you have software, yay. You have your 3 to 5 bank and credit card accounts, yay. You have them hooked up to whatever system that you're using, yay. And then you have someone that you trust to either review them minimally quarterly or they're your trusted person like us, Peace Luv Biz. So, okay, we have that set up. Now, what's so important about this? Why are these numbers so important? Why do any of these matter? Okay, well, whether you're starting out, you've been in business, been in business for 3 to 5 years, you've been in business for more than 5 to 7 years. Regardless of what you're doing, you can, and how long you've been doing it, you can always pivot to get bigger. Now, maybe you don't want to get bigger. That's okay. But you can get smarter. You can get financially smarter. You can look at those numbers and go, what's happening here? Because every industry has a benchmark. So whether you're an electrician, a roofer, a home inspector, a med spa, a contractor, a consulting firm, an employment service, an accountant, we all have different benchmarks for our industry. What does that mean? We all have different amounts that should be our cost of good. What is your cost of goods? Cost of goods is what you have to incur for your business to function. For my business to function, I have to incur software. There's no way I can do my business without software. Some people would like to believe they can include merchant services. That's a debatable, because can you just take ACH? Sure, you could. Can you just take checks? Sure, you could. Debatable. But absolutely for sure, I can exist without software. If you're a design and renovation company where you go in and redo homes and redo rooms, you can't function without the supplies at all and the contractors. You can't. You need those. So that's a cost of good. Every industry has a different sets of costs of goods. So that's to start with. Well, why does that matter? Well, gross revenue minus cost of goods gives you your gross profit. So that percentage, meaning if you make $1 million and your cost of goods is 100,000, then that's 10% of your gross revenue is cost of goods sold. So where does that land like in your industry? So we look around the country and we go, okay, well, normal industry average is 15. Okay, so what does it look like in your state? And then what does it look like in your city? And we drill down. Now, I say we drill down. That's what we do at our company when we post our monthly financials for our clients. But that is something that you should be aware of. Now, if you're one of our clients, you get this 15, 20-page breakdown monthly, and I'll go through what that looks like because that's part of what we're doing. But the last page is, hey, this is how you look like compared to other people in your industry. This is how you look like other people in your industry with the same rough gross revenues in your city and in your state. So you have a benchmark. Maybe you're doing good. Maybe you have some inside deal. Maybe you know somebody and that's how you're able to cut costs. Maybe you're way out of whack. And so we need to look at what is going on. But those numbers are important because with cost of goods, you want to know how much it does take to run your business. Everything else is extra. It's kind of like, have you ever gone somewhere and they charge you for the ice and they charge you for all the little things, right? So that's kind of what a P&L is. After the costs, everything else it's a nice thing to have, but it's not detrimental. Yeah, some things you kind of have to, right? But your business would not stop functioning. It would just make it harder. So kind of look at it that way. So then start looking at what you're spending money on. What are your biggest expenses after your costs? Your cost of goods should be your biggest expense because that's something that you can't not do without. You need that in order for your company to function. So think of that way. If your meals and entertainment are ridiculously high, I would start drilling down into that. If your advertising is ridiculously high, but yet there's no more lead generation, there's no increase in revenue, start looking at that. If your payroll is not sustainable, look at that. Do you have people on just to make your life easier? Okay, that's fine. That's your option. But know that's why you're carrying a high payroll, not because it has to be, but because you're choosing it to be. I'm not judging on it, just explaining. But start looking at all those key factors, your travel, what your reimbursement for, how much you're spending on things. If you're seriously relying on your bank statement and your available funds to tell you what you're making and where you're profitable, this is where most business owners that just start getting out make the biggest mistake. So let's step away from that mentality. Start making the habit that whenever your accountant sends you your monthlies or uploads your monthlies, you take a look at those and if you have questions, you book an appointment. You make an appointment. You go, hey, listen, I need to talk. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand this. They can drill down and tell you, well, you've spent XYZ here. You spent XYZ here. All the vendors should be classed. You can look at all that. You do need to understand what's going on. And you need to understand what's going on, not just for that month, not just for what happened in January 2026, but how all of 2025 went, how January of 26 compared to January of 25. Why is that important? I don't know. Did we have a growth? Did we have growth year over last? Did we have a decrease year over last? What happened January to January? At the end of March, and we're in April, let's take a look at what Q1 was like in 2025 compared to Q1 of 2026. What happened? Why would you need to look at that every single time? See where you're peaking, see where you're dropping, see what's costing you more. Have you changed your spending? If not, and the expenses have increased, then the cost has gone up. So are you increasing your pricing? Have you relooked at your pricing? All those things matter. All those things contribute to you being a going concern. What's a going concern? A going concern is all about your company still functioning. It needs to keep going, hence going concern. We got so much going on today. Okay, so we're good with systems set up, reliable people. And now, why do any of these numbers matter, Mary? They all matter. They all matter because they tell you what's happening. They tell you what's going on in your business. So then, okay, let's say you have all that, and that is a lot. That's a lot to digest. So just take a minute and think about that, right? That you have a system now set up. You didn't have that. You have someone to rely on. You didn't have that. You've trimmed down the bank accounts. You've started centralizing things. You've started streamlining stuff. Okay. Now we're take a look at the books and what it's reporting. And oh yeah, I think I do spend too much here. Or I think I haven't spent enough here. And maybe that's why I don't have lead generation. Okay. So what's next? Start budgeting. Start looking. Start setting goals. That's all that means. Budgeting is setting goals. Just putting it in reality and making it a spreadsheet. So have a talk with yourself. How much money do you want to make gross revenue? Or maybe you need to flip that up. How much money do you want to make net into your pocket, right? All the bills paid, money in your pocket. How much do you want every year? Okay, we'll start looking at that. And then work it backwards. And if you don't know how to work it backwards, reach out to me. I know how to work it backwards. But we work it backwards. Okay, this is our net income. So if we meet this number, then everything else we derive from that number. All the other expenses we derive from that number, the gross revenues, everything. And then we know, right? So let's say you want to make clear $150,000. These are all made up numbers, made up scenarios. But let's say you want to clear $150,000. Well, maybe that means your gross revenues have to be like 2.5. I don't know. It depends on your industry, depends on what's going on, depends on your expenses. But maybe that means your gross revenues have to be 2.5 million. Do you want to put that much time into it? That's another decision. Are you able to get to the 125 or 150 you want to clear without all the extra things? That's where you start drilling down and going, do I need all this? Maybe, maybe not. Do you need it or do you want it? That's another whole different scenario. So, we got to look at those things. We got to examine it. We got to ask those questions, those hard questions. And then you're able to review your finances. You're able to go, oh, I can get from this point to this point. And we can jump that hurdle, right? But you got to be clear in your goals. Because if you're not clear in your goals and you don't know what that looks like fiscally, there is virtually everything has a cost or a fiscal component associated with it. Meaning you can break down almost anything into a financial number. So if your goal is to clear a certain amount, that's fine. What is it supporting? Why is it that amount? Let's drill even deeper into that, right? You want to know all those things because there's no way to build a structure around it. You've got to build a structure around your goal, around what your growth is, around what your limits are, what your plan is, what your 1-year plan is, 3-year plan is, 5-year plan is, retirement plan is. All those have a fiscal number associated with it that we need to make sure that we have the goals set to make sure that we're in alignment in every choice and every decision that we make to make sure that we meet our financial goals, the ones that we're setting up, the ones that you're clearly defining with your accountant, the one that you and your accountant, and maybe you're not clearly defining it, but maybe you go to your accountant and go, hey, listen, I need help with this. And your accountant goes, oh yeah, I can help you with that. Let's clearly define it, right? That's the end of the day. You want a clear definition. Maybe you don't walk in with one, but you want one. And so you need one. So monthly rhythm. Well, what should that look like? Everybody's different. People start with me and they go, hey, look, we need to meet every week. I usually go, hey, let's meet like every week, or I'll text you. We'll jump on, make a call. I'll run through, ask some questions, done. And then we meet every other week. And then we meet once a month. And this happens maybe for the first 3 or 4 months. And honestly, I keep my calendar kind of open. I don't have a link because people text or email me and I jump on a call. I mean, I always have something going on, but I go, hey, well, I can be available in 30 minutes or I can be available an hour. Or I'm not available till next Tuesday. But I try to keep everything open. And why is that? Because most people, after they're with us for like 6 months, we either have a really good rhythm or this isn't a good fit. And that's okay. It's okay if it's not a good fit. But when it is a good fit, it's a great fit. And we all work together really well. They literally pull up their monthly financials and I hear from them when they want to do a loan or hey, I think about buying a car or need to buy a house and I need your help with navigating that. And then we do that and then we execute. And that's the beauty of having peace and having someone to trust. And that's the beauty of you see reviews that literally people sleep at night and they don't worry about this because they know it's being handled. You got to be able to have that trust and have that relationship. And that's regardless if you have someone doing it monthly or quarterly. Even we have people that only want us to do it quarterly. I still review it monthly because it's just part of my cadence. I'm a routine person. That's who I am. That's how I keep my peace is by maintaining my structure. So it doesn't really matter whether it's monthly, quarterly in my world, because I do the same thing every single month, making sure everybody's on track, making sure we're pivoting, making sure we're doing right. Not saying that I don't get behind, not saying that you won't get behind. Things happen. It's okay. But it keeps us in a cadence. It keeps us in a routine. It makes things really easy to be transparent and honest as well. To go, hey, listen, I know I'm behind, but they know your work and they know your value and they know your ethics. So they know that you're taking care of it, and that's okay. So, really big point here is what are you responsible for and what's your accountant responsible for? Well, if you're my client partner, and I'm your accountant, I will tell you I'm responsible for reporting your fiscal state of your company and telling you whether you're at risk, telling you if you're making bad decisions. It's not fun. It's easy for me to do because I've done it for so long. It's not fun to tell somebody you have no business buying this home. I've done it multiple times. I've had to because it's great to be the fun parent, isn't it? Isn't it great when you get to like reward little Johnny or Susie or whoever, Alexis, whoever with, oh yeah, of course you can have ice cream first. Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, don't tell dad or don't tell mom, whatever. It's great being the fun parent. It's not fun being hey, I have some bad news. But you know what? Reality is reality. And if you can't afford a home that you're trying to buy, I am the first person that will tell you. And she's a client and she's also a referral partner and she's amazing. And I consider her a friend. I absolutely love her. And she is as direct as me and she will tell you. And we didn't know it, but we were telling the same person, you have no business doing this. And we thought each other was the other person was the problem. Like, oh, I hope they're not saying this because this is why this person's so insistent. And in reality, we were both saying, you have no business doing this. So that's when you have solid people on your team. When someone will go, yeah, that doesn't fly. You want that in your corner. It's your responsibility to listen to us. It's your responsibility to go, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I really want it. I love this house. It's my dream home. I really want this car. It has everything. It's perfect. Okay, if it's so perfect, then why can't you afford it? Then it's not perfect. Everything is not perfect in this scenario. Everything is not, because then it's not the perfect timing. If it was perfect all over, it'd be the perfect timing. You'd have the funds, you'd be able to secure it and be done. So if it's not, what do? You step back. You step back, you go, okay, let me just accept it. Let me accept it. If you have the best people looking at something and going, no, no, then take it. Because listen, if I think something's possible, it's possible and it's probable because I don't do slim possibilities. I do possibilities that are equal to probabilities. And if I'm saying no, that's your wake up call. Where do you step back? Well, we had a review and my team is probably like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying this. They gave us 1 star because we didn't fit. We offboarded her. We said, we don't fit. We're offboarding you. Because we're professional, because we took a step back and we said, hey, this doesn't work. We're going to offboard now. We've done our deliverables. We've delivered everything for you. That's what we got. Where should you step back? What does that have to do with it? Start just having real conversations. Don't chat GPT everything. Don't hallmark everything either. Be real about your conversations. Go, listen, this is the person I am. Be real with yourself. If you're a person that needs to micromanage, we're not a good fit. I'll tell you that out the gate. I don't micromanage you, and please don't ever try to micromanage me. But this isn't gonna fit. So we need to really be aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses. But start having those honest conversations because you know what? Where do you want me involved and where do I step back? That's just, you'll learn it. You'll learn it because you're building a relationship. We refer to everybody as partners, whether it's a referral partner or a client partner, because we partner with people. No one's anybody's, do this because I said it. No, no, no. This is adults working together, partnering for your business to grow. Because what's in it for me? Your business grows, my business grows. This reality. You have more business, you need more time of me. That's just reality. So there's my benefit. I get to help you grow. I get to be alongside for the ride. We get to do this together. Yes. Do I make more money? Sure, I make more money in the long run. Am I happy to see my clients grow? Yes, absolutely. For sure. I just shout out to Matt Coltrane at Roll Cajun. He is literally moving into this ginormous restaurant space. He started out as a food truck, did awesome, had no problem being just a food truck, did not ever dream this happening. And here we are. And I love it. And you know what? He's going through like anybody starting out in a startup and then moving into something he never imagined. There are growing pains, financial growing pains. And you know what? We're there along for the ride. Do we understand it? Sure. We're the first ones that go, we're not, we're not going to charge you what we should be charging you. We got to help you. You got to help them. That's what we do. We do the right thing. We do the honest approach. So if you're always in communication, if you build that good relationship, then you don't have the question of where do I need to be involved and where do I step back? Because your accountant's going to go, okay, I got this. And then you're going to see your accountant had this and delivered it, and you're not going to worry about it. So what does all this mean? Because it was so much. Mary, this was so much. Okay, if we build this correctly, not saying we do everything out the gate, but we got to build it. It's a process. You don't just boom have a house. You just don't boom have a 5-year-old. Like you get pregnant first, grow the baby first, give birth to the baby. It's a whole process. So we build the process. And what does that then look like in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, in 18 months? It's the same thing if you decide to go to the gym today and you haven't been in 10 years. Day one is not going to look the same as day 90. It's just not. It's going to look different. And that's okay. That's why we do the hard work. We do the hard things every day. It's so that we do this together. So if any of this resonated to you, if any of this resonated to someone you know, have them drop us a line, peacelovebiz.com, and make an appointment. And we look forward to seeing to you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.